Hello and welcome to my basic hair shading tutorial. I am Honey in the Devon and this is how I shade hair. I'm mainly doing this for my friend Katie because she really liked how I shade hair, and honestly I do too now that I figured out this style. The style is quite simple, however it takes a lot of time, especially when there's a lot of hair like on this line art. I actually didn't draw this line art, it was drawn by someone on DA. I found it easier to get a line art that was already done than go and do one of mine before I make this tutorial. For starters, select a base color. For the base color, you're just going to want a basic, solid color. It should be relatively light, unless the character has very, very dark hair. But even if the character has black hair, I suggest you pick a light color, like for the black hair, gray. You'll see why as this tutorial advances. You don't have to color in the lines like I do. You can use the select tool. It's just a personal preference.
君も同じ空の下で鮮やかな青を感じて明日を目指して昨日よりずっと輝きになれる自分を試し込んでる
Now you're going to select a darker color, slightly darker than the base color. Select opacity lock before you draw on this layer again. Opacity lock will keep everything inside the lines. Maybe not that dark a color, probably something a bit lighter, just darker than the base color. You don't have to go overboard with it. Just have fun. Make upward stroking lines and downward stroking lines so that the hair blends together and looks more natural. Select a color that was even darker than the one you used before. Make a layer right above this layer with the base color and the first set of shading lines. This color is going to be much darker than the one you used before. Don't forget to do upward and downward stroking lines to help the hair look more natural. Opacity lock won't affect this layer, so keep Thank you.
静寂を連れてくる境界まで記憶を鮮やかに同じような毎日抜け出せた世の世界を超えて
Now select an even darker color. You're mainly going to want to use this one at like the tops of the hair and the little points, the ends of the hair. Either way though, don't forget to use upward stroking motions for naturality. Make a layer above it again. Have fun.
目を閉じてなぜか抜ける柔らかなオレンジで結んだ道
Now you're going to select a light color. Make another layer above the one you used before, and make strokes in the places that look like they're where you used the base color. Some of the darker lines didn't get rid of the base color. Not that we necessarily need to get rid of it, but the lighter lines over the base color rather than the dark lines look much better. You're still going to be kind of natural with it. And if the lines are done correctly, it will look natural as long as you're putting it in the spaces where the base color was. Now you're going to select the airbrush tool. Make sure that it's far darker than the other colors. Combine all the other layers that you've used before for the hair. Yes, combine them all. Next, make sure that opacity lock is selected so you'll stay inside the lines. Use the airbrush to darken the tips of the hair and the tops of it. Try not to get in the lighting too much. If you do a little, that should be fine. But not a whole lot. Try and stay where the darker lines are. And be very careful with the airbrush. Don't go over everything too much. Very, very light doses of the dark. Otherwise, the lines that you made before will be completely washed out. Thank you for your time.